Well, let's talk about 7 pitfalls to avoid as you prepare for marriage. Let's start with a couple of questions. I get asked, what is the most common mistake you see couples making during marriage prep? Well, I think a lot of times I don't see couples take it seriously. They think they are the exception, that they will never be a divorce statistic, so they enter marriage unprepared and they're wearing rose-colored glasses. Another question I get is, you do a lot of premarital counseling and marriage counseling, so you've seen it all. What was the craziest thing you've seen a couple do during marriage prep? That's really a good question. Probably a couple that I counseled that I met online. They dated online for a year and then got married. Online offers the opportunity for good conversation, but there is value in having a normal dating relationship, living in the same city or close to that. That is an important part of the developing of a relationship. This couple thought they knew each other so well, but they soon found out they had a lot to learn. There were issues that needed to be addressed in dating that came to the surface in marriage. They made it, but the road to a healthy marriage was long and it was very, very difficult for them. So let's look at these 7 pitfalls to avoid as you prepare for marriage. Number 1, not be smart about boundaries and purity. Purity, it's not a very popular word today, but if we stop to look at God's plan for marriage, we cannot help but run into the word purity. It's so important for a couple to talk about what this means for them and then to put the necessary boundaries in place to make that happen. Pitfall number 2, get in fights with the in-laws about the wedding and start off on the wrong foot with your new family. Ask yourself this, in 5 years, what's really going to matter? If you have to set boundaries with the in-laws, do it with respect and with gentleness, and do it with the things that actually matter. Remember, they're going to be in your life the rest of their lives. So don't do something today that you'll regret later. Pitfall number 3, focus too much on the wedding and not enough on the marriage. You know, weddings are great. They provide great memories, but the wedding day does very little, if anything, to help a couple prepare for marriage. You can do both. You can prepare for your wedding and you can prepare for your marriage. Pitfall number 4, they spend too much money on the wedding and start their marriage in debt. Finances are a problem in so many marriages. Many of these arguments are around the topic of debt. If at all possible, both of you need to go into marriage debt-free. You may not be able to do this, not every couple can, but don't add to the debt with a wedding. Be upfront and honest about the debt that you have with your future spouse. They need to know your financial situation because it's about to become their financial situation as well. Pitfall number 5, they put off growing spiritually together because you'll do that after you get married. Start praying together now. Find a church and get plugged in now. Now's the time to start growing spiritually together and to get closer to God, not later. Don't put this one off. Number 6, pitfall, they ignore the red flags because you're already engaged and you don't want to back out of the wedding. Red flags are red flags, and we need to look at them. The more we can address issues and find solutions, the better. A red flag does not have to mean the wedding plans stop. It means there's a problem that cannot be ignored. Don't ignore them. Pitfall number 7, have too long of an engagement. Once engaged, expectations begin. A long engagement can be very frustrating for both of you. Certainly there are exceptions, but a year or less for most couples seems to work the best. Now, another question. If I had to pick one thing that I want engaged couples to avoid at all costs, what would it be? Well, this would be my answer. Believe it or not, you will have conflict at some time. Not learning how to resolve issues can be devastating to the marriage. You've got to learn how to resolve conflict. You are getting ready to take the biggest step you'll ever take. Preparing well makes all the difference in the world. The bottom line is to look objectively at your relationship and see what is working and what's not. Keep building on what is working and dig into the things that aren't. And as you continue to prepare for an awesome marriage, I want to help you guys. I have 2 resources included in this email that will help you. Our free weekly Engage Checkup Guide, and this is a free guide and it will help you communicate well and stay connected during your engagement. You know, if you can neglect going to the doctor for your checkup, you risk your health. In the same way, if you neglect checking up on your relationship, you risk your relationship. Planning a wedding can be stressful, and many couples find that the relationship suffers during engagement. Don't let that happen to you. Invest in your future marriage by communicating well during engagement. I want to help your relationship flourish during the engagement period. This guide helps you have a set time each week to talk about important things, to check in with each other and check up on your relationship. It'll help you stay on track, communicate well, and connect better. This one-page document is an agenda and a checklist to guide your weekly Engage checkup. It's designed to be easy to print so you can have several on hand to use each week as you sit down for your weekly checkup. In the last 7 Christian vow options, there are a million things to do as you plan a wedding. The vows are often a last-minute thought, but it can be an anxiety-inducing choice. In this resource, we lay out the traditional vows as well as 7 other great Christian vows to help you prepare your vows. We've done the research. We've given you options that reflect your love for Jesus and commitment to make God the center of your ceremony. You can use the vows you like or use this as an outline if you want to prepare your own vows. Maybe you just want to use this as an inspiration to curate your own set of vows. However you choose to use this resource, we pray it blesses you, and we pray it makes your wedding planning a little bit easier. You can grab both of these free resources at the links in this email. Keep a lookout for my next video. Then we're going to talk about 7 things to do to prepare you for marriage. I'll also be sharing with you 95 questions to ask before you get married and 16 daily prayers for engaged couples. If there are 2 things you want to be sure of in engagement, be sure you ask lots of questions, and start building a habit of prayer, which is why I want to bless you with these 2 incredible resources to help you do just that. So don't miss the next video so you can get 95 questions to ask before you get married and 16 daily prayers for engaged couples. I look forward to seeing you guys really, really soon.